Today I'm going to give you an update on the first 10 products that I reviewed on this channel. I'm going to go in order from the first one to the 10th one I reviewed and tell you how I feel about them today after an additional 3 to 4 months of use. The first product I reviewed was Handy Heater. In fact, I've already posted an update on this product. It's just a portable heater that you plug into the wall. Now, my first review, people said, well, the room was too warm that you were trying to heat up, so that really wasn't a valid test. So in my second review, I had a colder room and people said, well, you need to have the thermometer measuring the room higher. Well, it doesn't say that in the commercial, it just says you plug it in and it heats the room. They don't have all these parameters like you have to be 3 feet above where the handy heater is at. They have it up in the bathroom. That's not really a valid complaint, I don't think. My wife plugged this thing in almost every night during the holidays, and I never really felt like it generated enough heat to make much of a difference. So to me, the handy heater really doesn't work that well. Some people might disagree, and that's great. In my opinion, handy heater is kind of a bust. EverBrite is a solar-powered, motion-activated light. It's been hanging up there for about 4 months, except for a brief period of time I moved it to the other side of the house, but there wasn't enough light there, so it didn't really work, so I moved it back to the original location. I think it works fine. It still illuminates at night when it's supposed to. It shuts off in the morning when it's supposed to. It still has a range of motion detection that is about the same as it was before. I don't know if it's gotten any dimmer. After 4 continuous months of use, it's still doing well. The third and 9th products I reviewed were Turbo Scrub and Hurricane Spin Scrubber. Now you'll notice that I don't have the Hurricane Spin Scrubber here because I loaned that to my mom, and that's a compliment to the Hurricane Spin Scrubber because I loaned it to her telling her that I thought it worked and she should try it out. But they're so similar that I thought I would just kind of group them together. In fact, I did a follow-up which compared the two of them, and I found them to both work great. The only slight difference I had was that Turbo Scrub had an NIMH battery that I thought was longer lasting than the Hurricane Spin Scrubber's NiCad battery. That said, there have been some people that said they've seen Turbo Scrubs out there with a NiCad battery, so I reached out to the company to see if they could clarify if those are old models or if they've moved to a NiCad battery. They never responded, so I don't have the answer to that. I recommend both of them. They're both very good scrubbers. I've had tremendous results, and I've continued to use these ever since my reviews are posted, and I'm still happy with them. If you have to choose, I would take a Turbo Scrub with the NIMH battery. If you see a Turbo Scrub with a NiCad battery, in my opinion, it'll be identical to the Hurricane Spin Scrubber. I think both are good products. And by the way, since people have asked to remove the brushes, you just pull them apart. And then you line up these two sections together. There's a tab there with that tab there. Push them together. The only other thing I'll say about both of them is that they have a corner brush, which I found to fray quickly. And I don't really find it nearly as useful as the dome brush and the flat brush. The corner brush to me is a bit of a disappointment, but overall I think they're both very good products and I recommend them. The 4th review that I did was for a product called Flex-Ohh. Flex-Ohh is a kind of like a Play-Doh. It's a molding compound that you can use to play with. I haven't really done much with it since then, although I did have positive results from my first review. Let's take a look at the one that sat opened in my garage for 3 months and see how it looks right now. All right, this package has been in my garage for 3 months, opened up, and let's see if it's dried out or not. Well, while I wouldn't say it's as soft as when I first opened it, you can still mold it much better than other clays that dry out overnight. So I still say Flex-Ohh is a good product. My 5th review was TacLight. The tactical flashlight with 5 modes is supposed to be brighter and more durable than a regular flashlight. Well, unfortunately, I already posted a follow-up on that one because after about 3 weeks, the button on the tail cap broke and it stopped working. What's really unfortunate is because when it broke, I actually needed it. I was trying to put air in my tires at night, and I whipped out my trusty TacLight, and it didn't work. So it's actually in a drawer around here somewhere, still not working. TacLight, obviously not one of my better products. Something else that I found interesting, the packaging for the TacLight that I bought says 22 times brighter than this regular flashlight. But the packaging now says 40 times brighter than this regular flashlight. So apparently they found a new flashlight to compare it against that was even weaker than the original one they compared it against. And I don't think the TacLight itself has actually gotten brighter since the packaging changed. There it is. Star Shower Motion was the holiday favorite in 2016, and I found it to work pretty well. It ran continuously for over 2 months. Now that's a good and a bad thing. The good thing is that it ran without burning out, because some people had said they had had problems with it burning out. The bad thing about it is that it ran continuously, and I mean it never shut off, even when it was supposed to in the daytime. So somehow the light sensor seems to be off on this model. That aside, I like the display. I kind of like Star Shower Motion. I haven't plugged this in since about New Year's Day, so let me plug it in real quick and see if it still works. Yep. I'd say that still works, and you're still not supposed to shine it in your eyes or face. For my 7th review, it was the microwave bacon cooker called Bacon Boss, right here, which supposedly gives you crispy flat bacon in the microwave. It gave me the flat bacon, but the crispiness was pretty elusive. I tried for a while to get this thing to work, but it eventually became relegated to the back of my cabinets. Haven't really touched it in the last couple months. To me, Bacon Boss was unlucky number 7. My 8th review was 35 Below socks, and probably my most disliked review, because some people said that my attempt to simulate conditions rather than actually wearing them in the cold made the review invalid. And I accept those complaints, although I stand by my conclusions. These socks are very thin, and I have worn them all winter long in colder conditions than my original review, and I haven't really felt that they provided much difference over a regular pair of socks. That said, I had some positive conclusions that they are thinner than regular socks but provide the same warmth, and they work well as an undersock, and I stand by that conclusion. Another thing I'll say positive about them is that they've held up quite well in the wash. These have been worn many times, and they look almost new. I mean, you'll see maybe a couple of threads that have come undone like that. See a few right here. But they're more durable than I actually would have expected over the long term. This is 4 months in wearing them probably once a week. I've had an opportunity to discuss these with people who have worn them in colder weather. The reviews are kind of mixed. I don't think my initial conclusions were wrong, even though some people, rightfully so, may have not liked the methods by which I came to those conclusions. My 10th review was Atomic Beam Lantern. This is one of 2 lanterns that I've reviewed. The other one was much later, and actually it stopped working. But the Atomic Beam Lantern continues to work. In fact, I've learned to like this more than a flashlight because you can place it down, you can hang it up, and it gives you 360 degrees of light. The batteries last about 5 hours continuously, which in realistic use, unless you leave it on all the time, will give you quite a bit of power. And then once the full brightness is gone, you'll still get a couple days worth of light from this. These batteries have been in here for a couple months and it's still doing pretty well. So the Atomic Beam Lantern, I like this one. In fact, I like it over the other one. I'll update this one later, but the TacLight lantern stopped working. There's magnets in the bottom and a hook. I never really use those features, but other than that, I use this a lot more than I thought I would. I use it regularly, so I like the Atomic Beam Lantern. So there you have it. My first 10 products updated. Some of them were hits, some of them were misses, and some of them were kind of on the fence. The next 10 products, I'll probably give you an update on those in about a month. I appreciate everybody who has commented and subscribed over the last few months. I will continue to try to bring you the best as seen on TV product reviews I can in the future. Until next time, this is James White with Freakin' Reviews. Thank you.